Good morning, everybody. Kevin back from Watch This with Joe and Kevin for I believe it is a season finale. I didn't check, but the first season had 13. So the season finale of season 2 of The Sopranos. Not enough good things can possibly be said about episode 12. There was a really, I thought, a really cool kind of exploration of Tony's broken relationships with women in general. Obviously, Rena was at the forefront of that, but he got into it with every woman. We had him back with his mom. He was fighting with Janice for a time. Obviously, Carmela is at a breaking point with him and is taking a trip, a little break away from Tony. Understandably, got into it with Dr. Melfi, as he always does. That's kind of to be expected. But Tony was going through it in terms of his relationship with women. And I'm kind of curious to see where that's going, especially with Carmela, who, I mean, it almost looked like she was ready to run away with the wallpaper right, in the last episode. She is at that point. That guy obviously is just completely terrified of Tony, so that's probably why that's never going to happen. Understandably so. That is playing with fire. Um, but obviously, the big thing in the episode, of course, that kind of got everything else kind of got buried in the resolution, the death of Richie. That really had a feel of a season finale. That was such a huge, shocking, unforeseen event that kind of felt like a how you would end a season, and we still have one episode to go. So I'm kind of curious what is the actual resolution, because we're not done with Richie's story in any way. Simply because we've met a little bit more of Richie's crew, including Richie's son, and how are they going to take the fact that their father has just kind of disappeared? Is that going to keep quiet? Are people going to find out that it was Janice who did it, or are people going to assume Tony did it? Either Janice or Tony is at some point probably going to take the blame, rightly or wrongly, for what happened to Richie. So, one, I don't think we're done with Janice on the show. We may be, but I'd be surprised if we didn't see Janice again. But two, I do not feel like Richie's storyline is over just because he's dead. Um, that certainly, go back to Godfather 2, one of my favorite movies. And when a patriarch dies, that doesn't mean the story's over. It means the son is out for blood, which may happen in this story as well. Since we did get to spend some time with Richie's son in the last episode, I'm curious to see where that goes. How everybody handles this. Apparently, Junior and Tony are back in good graces. We're still kind of exploring Tony's sociopathy, right? Now that he at least Dr. Melfi's kind of suggested that if you don't keep yourself busy, you're going to face the horrible things you've done, because that's the kind of personality disorder you have. You do bad things and try to avoid feeling guilty about them. You try to rationalize them, and then try to keep busy. Maybe that's why he broke up with Irina, and why things were kind of spinning for him, right? He felt guilt after they broke up and he didn't have that outlet. And then she was going through all of the horrible things that poor girl was going through. He was very guilty, even though he tried not to be. He tried to walk away, but he ended up like going to her in the hospital and giving her a whole lot of money and trying to help her set up a new life. Um, so Tony is dealing with some guilt, which I guess in a way is kind of good to see. It's like, well, at least you kind of feel bad for it. We're not exactly talking about Joe Pesci in Goodfellas here. We should jump into it. I do want to go and thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being back with us. Thank you, guys. I would like to give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balazs Foldez, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Soda Gundavarapu, Weird Magic, Torgeir Lingstad, Emily, Derek Peterson, and Where Panda 47. Thank you so much, folks. Really glad you're here with us. If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. Every show, including The Sopranos, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon if we're on YouTube. So if you watch the YouTube edits and want to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon page, but you will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You're only going to see and hear me for copyright purposes. Oh yeah, I also wanted to say, I went back and looked, and people on Patreon, Livia, when Tony fell down the stairs, was definitely smiling and laughing about it. She's still as awful as ever, and it is a lot like the story Tony told Dr. Melfi about her dad. I think it was her dad falling down the stairs and the whole family having a collective laugh at his expense.
Have some eggplant.
I told you, I'm not hungry.
Now you won't
Oh
even
yeah, there's no one to
accept
deal
food
with
from
her
your
now.
own mother.
Barbara asked me to come here. Beyond that, I got nothing to say to you.
Ma, you can't come live with us. I'm sorry, but...
Well, what are you doing?
You're not gonna live with her. There's 2 tickets, first class. Go to Tucson, stay with Aunt Gemma.
ये कार के कितने पैसे दे रहा है ये कार देखा
An Indian restaurant? God, that looks delicious. I know people think it's weird to eat a whole fish, but that looked delicious. When do things go horribly wrong for Sal? Because they definitely will.
What's this thing?
Telephone calling cards. You find a front
Okay.
man who can get a line of credit. The carrier gets stiffed. He cuts off the service to the card holders, but you already sold all your cards.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I give Carmelo all the credit.
Hey, you had something to do with it too.
Sal and Tony get along so well right now. This is going to get ugly.
What's that?
Oh, it's a vestimenta suit.
Okay, he was setting something up here. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Tony, what did you do?
Oh, Carmelo, you're better than that.
You look beautiful, Carl.
She always looks great. This is a nice reminder that Carmela, for all of her posturing, still is very much into the trappings of all of this. I've never been near a East Coast beach in winter, but I bet it's miserably cold in the wind.
When they make the diagnosis?
About a month ago.
The wife and kids know.
No. Colt went over big. She loved it.
I'm Philly.
Oh, they had me fooled all along. I did not realize for quite a while that this was a dream sequence. I thought Tony had actually gotten bad news about himself or Junior or something.
You have a tendency towards depression, yes.
This seems worse than he's ever been.
But listen to me, all right? Everything's gonna be all right.
Oh,
Your father is sick.
Oh my God, Daddy, what happened?
Went to an Indian restaurant.
That is so
Oh, yeah?
racist.
Who's letting those big ones?
There better be Coke left in that fridge, is all I can say.
okay, the flatulence was a lot right there, as far as undercutting the scene.
So you still like your coat?
I love my coat.
And it reminds me of Tony not liking Richie's coat, how upset Richie was about it.
What are you looking for? Somebody's looking for me.
Who?
I don't know. Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself.
I sort of wonder if his subconscious knows that Sal's not to be trusted a little bit, but he's kind of in denial, and his dreams are kind of letting him know.
How are you feeling?
You might want to go to your therapist and talk about your dreams.
It was filled with,
Anger.
yeah, right, anger. You know everything.
And look at the cost.
You are the biggest threat to yourself.
But that's what being a human being is. I don't want you to see me like this.
Oh, please. I think you have food poisoning.
We can't trust if anything's real on the show now. I say this is fake.
Where is he?
Who?
Tony had food poisoning all night, the poor guy.
Ooh. Oh, hey, it's not from my place.
Was he at Vesuvio last night?
Oh, jeez, you picked up a bad one somewhere, huh?
Somewhere.
I handpick every piece of shellfish myself.
Oh, yeah? You smelling them as you're picking them, or you staring off into space?
It would help if we knew. Did you have any symptoms?
No.
I'm sorry, Tony, but I feel vindicated.
I can't get off the boardwalk.
Tony's the toughest guy in the world, and he gets sick and he becomes just like the rest of us.
Come on in.
Oh my God. Don't act like you're not impressed.
I find you immensely attractive, Anthony.
Thought I repulsed you,
You go out of your way to repulse me.
but you like that.
The rocking sound in the background I'm not getting. It's like they're on a boat. He's on a boat or something.
I'm tired.
No, you got a small case of E. coli, Campylobacter maybe, but you're gonna be fine.
The rocking boat, and I was thinking Gilligan's Island.
You know I've been working with the government, right, Tone?
Okay, I was wondering if Tony was going to start figuring this out. His subconscious knew this.
Come on, Tone. Sooner or later, you gotta face facts.
I don't want to hear
This
it.
is good.
Well, you're gonna hear it.
Is the man at home?
Yeah, come in. He's still sleeping. I'll go get him.
Oh, I got a call about a boat. Sea Ray 50. I want you guys' opinion on it.
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah, the owner's got 2 offers. I gotta decide this morning.
You look so guilty.
Around 12.
I'm looking forward to the graduation party.
Check that little box that Sal was running for. Oh, we've reached the end.
So he's ready to go buy a boat.
Beautiful boat, Tony.
I've been waiting 40 minutes. The Cuban had to go see the harbor master, but we're free to give it a spin.
He should really put this together. He's probably been on a dozen of these with Tony and these guys before. He knows now.
Well, should we test drop the anchor sound shoals?
Later.
Thank God. This is the end of this guy.
When did they flip you? Tell me. Don't lie.
Flip.
Been a long time since they arrested him.
They had me, Tony.
How long? How much do they know?
A year and a half, no. Less. I will do nothing, Tony. Nothing to put you in harm's way. All he is.
That's how they got tipped off about the Bevilacqua hit, huh?
But mostly I talked up the Scatino bust out. Nothing federal there to link you, Tony.
There's no way they just let this go. I mean, that's kind of true. He didn't give him big things he could have. But he's still a rat.
For that acupuncturist down in Puerto Rico. 26.
She even really exist?
Yeah, he's probably incarcerated the whole time.
Not in the face, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Give me that. I feel like I can't stand. Is that okay, Tony? Did I sit?
I mean, I'm thinking logistics, of course. His wife's going to know he was last with them. Probably won't come to anything. I don't know. Unless the feds go to her and like, hey, our guys disappeared. What happened last?
Don't press your luck with this diarrhea.
I mean, really.
Can't shake it.
Well, whose fault is that?
I am at Newark Airport. We've been held here since 9 o'clock this morning.
Were they like some of the stolen tickets?
Saying that Anthony
he's an idiot.
a stolen ticket. They're gonna call the FBI.
It was tickets from the bust out, isn't it?
Stolen airline tickets constituting mail fraud, wire fraud, and any other federal violation.
You can also see the tickets. We already found them in your Suburban.
You have the right to remain silent.
Oh, wow.
Talk to my lawyer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Poor Meadow.
Med, it's all right. I'll be home in a couple hours. Don't worry.
I'm graduating tomorrow.
I'm on her side on this, actually.
I gotta tell you, Frank, I'd forget about any deli trays coming your way in the future.
Why did he personally use the stolen tickets?
You have to understand that your father means well. He's given his life for you, for your brother, for us. If you ever wanted to talk...
This is who Dad is. My friends don't judge me.
That's actually kind of healthy.
If this is all there is, these 23 tickets, they don't have bupkis, and they know it.
Rico case, 30 to life.
Don't think about that now, Anthony. You'll make bail.
It seems like a big deal to me. I'm no lawyer.
A year ago, your mother colluded to have you killed, yet you never say boo about that, even when I tried to elicit. She's inflicted serious psychic injuries that are still there.
Poor me.
Rage, Anthony, is a big, loud, flaming self-distraction.
There it is.
From feelings that are even more frightening.
There's a lot going on. His daughter's graduating.
Anthony?
Maybe, baby, I'll have you. So I might as well take this opportunity. I'm proposing you to get your button.
Haven't seen Christopher much in the last couple episodes, so...
It's great to see your kid graduate, huh?
Not a youth. That's what's important. Yeah, I got a job on a ranch out west.
What? All right, Dave. Take care of yourself.
He
Drive
looks
safe.
so run down. His son's not going to Georgetown. I thought his brother-in-law was going to pay for it. Are these Tony's businesses? I know they started with a trash truck. I didn't know he owned an adult film store. Showing the happy family and then how Tony's actually making his money on the side. And the telephone cards. Well, it's cool they showed Davey's broken life and then go back to a card game of Tony's. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I loved that finale a lot. The biggest thing, of course, is Tony being sick and kind of, you know, he's kind of working through some things in his dreams, particularly with when it comes to accepting the fact that he knows that Sal deep down has been betraying him. You have your conscious brain, and Tony, as we have in the last couple episodes discussed, and again in this one, he's big on distraction, right? He doesn't want to face who he is, what he does, what he's feeling, what he's thinking. So he just pushes forward 1,000 miles an hour. Well, there's one time you can't do that, and that's while you're asleep, right? And that's when the self conscious kind of takes over in your dream to kind of, not all dreams, but a lot of dreams to kind of face what's really there subconsciously. Your brain needs you to work it out, the things you're not working out. And he does here, and it's really great. When we get to him facing Sal. Sal confesses because he's ultimately very caught. He dies, and now Tony's dealing with so much in this episode, even after he's healthier. He's loses it with his mom and makes a stupid mistake, just like he said. Kind of feels very Breaking Baddy. No spoilers, but a little for the Breaking Bad. It's when you kind of settle down and let your foot off the gas. That's when you do something dumb. Sometimes. Um, he's dealing with his daughter graduating. He's dealing with the fact one of his really good friends has been betraying him. He's trying to make his wife like him again, which he manages to do with the purchase of a fur coat. Come on, Carmel, you're better than that. Um, but I really like the ending as well, where we kind of saw we have Carmela rationalizing to Meadow, like, your dad's really just does all of this for us, right? The Walter White, everything I do for my family thing. Um, and Meadow accepts it, right? Like, I know who my dad is, and if my friends don't like it, then I don't need them. Um, everyone's kind of signing their deal with the devil here, right? Or kind of acknowledging it here. Um, um, but I like the fact that at the end, Tony's out of jail, court case coming, he thinks he's going to beat. Dr. Melfi wants him to face a few things, like you're not really facing where your head is at right now. And so he does what he always does in that situation. He storms off, just like he did with his mom in the last episode, just like he did with Dr. Melfi a million times. He just walked, just like he did with Arena, right? Just they're upset. He says, "Forget this," walks away. Um, but we see at the end, right? They're celebrating. It's Meadow's big day. Everyone's partying. But the show reminds us, yeah, everything seems okay. Everything seems like he's happy, and or at least feigning happiness, and everything's working out for everybody here. It's a celebration for Christopher, obviously for Meadow, kind of for everybody. Um, but then we see the businesses, right? We see how Tony makes his money, and there is a cost to it for everybody, right? We see we see Davy's life completely ruined, right? I love that we got that call back, and then we cut to more people gambling, dumping in their money, and the wheels on the bus go round and round. There are more victims coming. There's the phone cards. I thought that was really great to start with the phone cards because again, this show does a really good job of showing people on the street who actually suffer from these harmless vices and these little scams that Tony runs. There are real consequences. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you have all these people without a lot of money buying these phone cards, and by the time they're using them, they stop working. They just get ripped off. A whole lot of people. It's just Tony's a leech, man. He's a parasite who takes advantage of everybody. And I love the fact that the show won't let us forget that. He's a complicated character. We want him to do well. You know, he's our protagonist. So, you know, I'm guilty as anyone of having like, you know, protagonist syndrome where it's like, I want the protagonist to, to keep thriving, you know, even though they shouldn't. They shouldn't on Breaking Bad. They shouldn't when we did Mad Men. But you still find yourself pulling for the protagonist. And Tony is an anti-hero, is in that group as well, right? He is, and the show says I want you to remember you are rooting for a villain. You're absolutely rooting for the bad guy here, who hurts people and takes advantage of people. There is a real cost to everything that Tony gets for himself and for his family. So this idea of everything I do, you know, the nobility of I do everything for my family. Yeah, you know, the show is really great at reminding us it isn't that noble. It's just an easy means to an end where people get hurt. This is, I can see why people consider it, a lot of people consider this the greatest show in television history. And, you know, we talk about post 2000, we kind of enter the golden age of television. People talk about that a lot. So many great television shows. TV emerges as a great place where good actors who don't want to do certain kinds of films, because let's face it, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, you know, slash IPs have kind of taken over movie theaters. And I'm not knocking that. I love a lot of those properties. I'm a big Marvel fan until the last couple of years, anyway. But good actors, Academy Award winning actors, are doing television work now because so many good things are happening in television. And I think you have to give a lot of credit for that to The Sopranos. The Sopranos really did change the way people view what you can do with television. This is a bold show that was very pioneering. You know, watching it now, it would be easy to be like, okay, this is like a lot of other, you know, fill in your crime show, fill in your procedural, fill in your anti-hero show, but always keeping in mind this is the first one to break a lot of that ground, and in an incredibly good way. This is a masterclass, this show, and I'm very much looking forward to what I assume is going to be. And this did feel like a finale, so I'm assuming the next episode is going to be the premiere of season 3. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. I very much look forward to the next one. Take care. English today, buddy.